Smarterfan. Smarterfan. Yeah. Smarterfan.
Hey everybody, welcome to another segment of Smarter Fan Podcast, where we bring you behind the veil of sports, business, and life. I'm Joe, and this is Barry. How you doing, Barry?
I'm on. No, I'm good, Joe. I'm just playing. It's been a crazy weekend. In
Yeah,
sports, a lot of fun, a lot of stuff going on. So got a lot of wood to chop today. How you feeling?
I'm feeling fine.
All right, sounds good. Sounds good. Where we kicking off tonight?
Well, this week the NHL kicked off their season on Tuesday.
Wow, hockey season. Wow.
Yes, hockey season is here already, and I wanted to talk about Snoop, and the Senators. As we had talked about how him and Nico Sparks in a group were trying to get together and buy the Ottawa Senators.
Mm-hmm.
Well, unfortunately, that didn't come to fruition. As the Senators, they had an ownership group has entered into a purchase agreement for the Senators for the sale of the team with Toronto, a Toronto-based billionaire named Michael Andlauer, and he's going to have 90% of the organization and operational control of the team. His purchase is the largest in NHL history at almost $1 billion.
Wow.
The other 10% will remain with the Melnick estate, controlled by the Melnick sisters. They were their father was he had a lot to do with the Senators.
Okay. He was the previous owner?
I'm not sure if he was the previous owner, but I know he was he had a big stake in the team.
Oh, okay.
The other bidders were Ryan Reynolds and The Weeknd.
Okay.
So that's as they say is that as far as Snoop is concerned with the Senators.
Well, it's usually a process. You got to get in the game, get known, and then another opportunity will present itself. That's just the way it is.
Yeah. So, and I also wanted to give a shout out to the NHL Hall of Fame class of 23. This class includes two-time Stanley Cup champ Mike Vernon, Henrik Lundqvist, Tom Barrasso, who was the youngest goalie to win the Calder Trophy and the Vezina Trophy in the same season. Caroline Ouellette, she was a forward on Canada's national women's team, and she won 4 gold medals in the Olympics. Pierre Turgeon, he's the highest scoring retired player in NHL history.
Jeez.
And Ken Hitchcock, he's the 4th winningest coach in the NHL history.
Wow, that's impressive.
Yeah, and Pierre Lacroix, he was the architect of the Colorado Avalanche's Stanley Cup teams. So these guys, they're all going into the Hall. So
that's awesome.
Yeah, that's great. They had a lot of accomplishments, especially these goaltenders. And this is a feel-good story here. It's kind of like bittersweet.
Okay.
It involves the Golden Knights. Connie Bronowitz and her husband, they were season ticket holders with the Knights. And so she reached out to the team president, Kerry Bulbols, with a request, because in 2021, her husband died of COVID.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. It was, and one of his final requests to her was to bring the Stanley Cup to his grave if they won.
Oh, wow.
So 2 years later, his request was granted by the Knights. And after they won the Stanley Cup, and they brought it to his grave, and the family was there. It was like, it was a bittersweet moment, but
that's sweet.
Yeah, and the Golden Knights, what they did for opening night to raise the banner is
Hmm.
they had a giant slot machine on the ice, and
Hmm.
it came up 3 Stanley Cups, and then the machine raised the banner.
Oh wow,
Yeah,
that's
so
unique. That's
yeah.
unique. That's
Oh yeah.
different.
But, hey, that's Vegas. you know.
Showtime.
Yeah, exactly. So that's what I have to say about hockey. It was a good week.
That's a good story right there. The
Yeah.
it's behind the business, right?
Mm,
Fans make it all turn, make it all happen. But
yeah.
fans, it doesn't happen. No,
Exactly. Exactly.
it doesn't happen. I think a lot of times, I was reading some story about, I don't know, a particular owner, and kind of lost his way in his
Mm,
comments, kind of acting very entitled, right?
mm,
Because the money's
yeah.
so crazy,
Yep.
and really forgetting, hey, go ask Major League Baseball what happens when you screw up, when you get
yeah.
above your britches.
Yep.
Ask them, you
That's for
know,
sure. That's for
ask
sure.
them. They almost lost that game, and they're
Mm,
still fighting to keep that game in this 24/7 sports cycle. You
mm,
know what I mean?
yeah.
It's getting very, very, very competitive for eyeballs, and and so forth. So you just really have to understand the business of the game on
That's
many,
it.
many different levels. As a player, as an owner, management, all the way up the food chain. You got to understand your entertainment. You're putting out a product. You're not food, clothing, and shelter. Your recreation. You
yeah.
know,
That's for damn
and
sure.
and got to be careful. You got to understand. I mean, that's some of the things we talk about. On Smarterfan podcast. But I don't want to cut you off.
Well, no, that's all I had to say about that. It was good. It was a good week for hockey. You know, a lot of rookies coming up and everything, and
Hmm.
everything. It looked good. It looked good. So what's on your mind?
Oh man, I mean, people won't leave my phone alone, Joe. They keep asking me about Colorado. What's going on? I said, it's 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 all part of their process. And they said, well, what do you mean? I said, you got guys who are coming together and 9 months playing against people who've been together 2 years. No
Mm,
excuses. I don't have any excuses for them.
right. Yeah.
Um, but like an A team, there comes a point where you can't ride. You have such a dynamic coach. At a certain point, you as a player have to take ownership.
Yes.
It
Yes.
can't be coach hyping me up. Coach is doing what coach can't play for you, man. Coach can't play for you.
Mm-mm.
You know what I mean? You got to
Yep.
do the work. You got to put in the effort. I mean, somebody in the linebacker crew got to say, this ain't happening. Let's call a timeout, and we need to figure out or get somebody in here
Mm-hmm.
because number 13 on Stanford is cooking us on the same route,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
He ain't even
Yeah.
changing the route. He's just cooking us on the same route. Get somebody up in here.
Yeah.
You know what I
Really.
mean? Then somebody said to me, you know, why didn't Cormani play? And I said, I'm gonna say something, but I don't mean it in a negative way. Should Cormani or anybody but us play? And it's not really to Cormani. It's really I got to do the things I got to do to get on the field.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And if I got to stand behind Coach Prime and like I'm Cormani and I'm seeing the secondary get cooked, I'm just
Mm-hmm.
gonna be like, hey coach, I'm right here. I'm not sitting on the bench.
Yeah.
Oh no, I'm not sitting on the bench. Oh, they know
Mm.
where I'm at. No, no, no. I'm up in Coach Prime's. He don't have to look far from me. I'm right here.
Yeah.
I'm right here.
Yeah.
Anytime, coach, you need me, I'm right here. I'm not sitting on the bench. You got to take ownership. And I know he's young, and I say that for all players,
Uh-huh.
right? In that situation, you gotta have an identity. You got to be able to, as a
Mm.
defense. I mean, there should have been some level of disgust, like, yo, we've been think about this. Our offense on average is scoring 40 points.
Yeah.
There's no reason we should be losing. I mean, I gotta get two or three and outs. I mean, that's just really boils down to desire. If I know my offense can put up that kind of points, come on, defense. I don't care if we have to have a private meeting. I don't care if we have to have our own practice. I don't care what we have to do. But ain't nobody going to put 40 on us regularly and beat us.
You know who it reminds me of,
Come
don't you?
on. What's that?
Reminds me of the Air Coryell Chargers.
Oh, wow. Right?
All offense and no D.
And no defense. I mean, Dan Fouts would get back there, Kellen Winslow, this guy, Jefferson, put them points up.
Yeah.
Never go to a Super Bowl.
Nope.
Never go to a Super Bowl.
And lose by 3.
And lose by 3. So people were like, I said, I know they got to make up they got to get in their minds. And that's what I interpret Coach Prime saying. And I hear it in his voice, like, y'all gotta start taking ownership of this.
Mm-hmm.
I'm doing my part. Y'all gotta do your part. You know what I mean? Y'all, and I don't, people say, well, I think the coaching and this, that, and the other. Listen, there's such a thing as bad coaching. Don't get me wrong, but I think their defensive core. I see more lack of people not knowing what they're doing and lack of taking ownership. I just don't see the ownership. I'm like, man, you guys have somebody on the defense said our opponent, we're able to score 40 points. You tell me our defense can't keep the other team to 30? Can't keep the other side to 10? You telling me in a half they put 46 points on us?
Mm-hmm.
We just should have just walked off the field because we're not here.
Accountability is a big problem these days with a lot of sports. Accountability.
I'm like, you're going to let somebody put 46 on you in a half? They shouldn't even be that much time. It's like we get the ball back, we're just going to run this pill.
Right.
And eat that clock. I'm just going to eat the clock. That's what we're going to do. So, but, they have to go through these things. There's really no way around it, and so, this is going to test their character and this is going to test their mettle. This is going to test their level of ownership. But I can tell you one thing, practice ain't going to be no party. I can tell you that.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Practice ain't going to be no party. I can tell you that. And you may not hear much from him. It may be real quiet.
Yeah.
It may be real quiet. And people are going to start to reflect. Because I guarantee you, some heads are going to roll.
I imagine.
Some heads are going to get shipped out of there.
I would imagine.
Yep.
So.
Yep. So that's my part A tonight. Coach Prime. I got most stuff though, but what you got going on?
Well, I want to switch gears to the MLB. Okay, to the ALDS. The Astros made it to their 7th straight ALCS, beating the Twins. Yeah, 3-1. Led by the bats of Jose Abreu, Michael Brantley, and Jordan Alvarez, who's been just killing it.
Wasn't Abreu with the Yankees at one time?
That was Bobby Abreu.
Oh, okay.
But Jordan Alvarez, him and Reggie Jackson are the only players in history with at least 6 extra base hits and at least 4 homers in a 3-game span in any postseason.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Meanwhile, the AL East is 0-7. Beginning with the Yankees getting swept last year and the Orioles getting swept this year by the Rangers, setting the stage for 2. Now, this is what I find very refreshing, okay? You're gonna have 2 old school managers going head to head, and Bruce Bochy and Dusty Baker. All right.
Oh wow.
No tablets, no clipboards, no analytics, just pure baseball knowledge head to head. Okay. So
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So, and this is the first time that the Rangers have been to the ALCS since 2011. You know,
Wow. Well, my money is always on Dusty, baby. Matter of fact, that you told me that. Let me go buy some Dusty gear. I'm a
Mhm.
Dusty fan forever. Oh
Mm.
my goodness. Yo, you
Yeah.
crack me up, man. All I can hear in your voice is the disgust of technology, the disgust of how they're ruining the game, the disgust with the way they've been doing things, and your desire to return to the way it used to be. Oh, you are so funny.
It's just
You are so
common
funny.
sense baseball, is what it is, and it's lacking these days very much. But anyway, in the
Yes,
end, yeah, go ahead. You know,
haters
yeah,
gonna hate. I can't help it. You just are so disgusted. It's killing me.
yeah. In the NLDS, okay. Now before Game 3, uh, against the Braves, the Phillies' Bryce Harper and Nick Castellanos paid homage to Coach Prime, with Harper wearing a Coach Prime T-shirt, and
Yeah.
Castellanos, he wore a Coach Prime um, hoodie. You know,
Oh, okay.
yeah, yeah. And before that was this
Got
was
the
before
blenders
Harper.
on too. Yeah.
Yeah, and this was before Harper went out and hit 2 home runs in the Phillies 10-2 rout of the Braves. You know, the
Mm.
Phillies set a club record with and tied the MLB mark with 6 home runs in a playoff game, tying the Cubs, who did it in 2015 against the Cards. And after dispatching the Braves, they'll face the Diamondbacks, who swept the Dodgers. And that was the Dodgers were the last of the 100+ win teams that are not in the playoffs now. You know,
Mm.
and they're going to start Monday and Tuesday. And the Diamondbacks became the first team in postseason history to hit 4 home runs in 1 inning.
Mm.
So, you know, yeah, a lot of records, a lot of the records in these playoffs this year. Okay. Um, Now, one bright spot on the Yankees, well, the other bright spot I should say, is Aaron Judge is
Yes,
among,
sir.
yeah, other nominees for the award, which for the Hank Aaron Award.
Oh,
You know,
really?
oh yeah, yeah, along with Otani, Adalis Garcia, Yandy Diaz, and Jordan Alvarez. You know, it's given each year to the best overall offensive player in each league. The honor was established in 1999 to mark the 25th anniversary of Aaron breaking Babe Ruth's home run record. You know, the winners are
Wow.
predetermined by a combination of votes from a panel of Hall of Famers and a fan vote. You know, and despite being out for 2 months, Judge still managed to hit 37 home runs. You
Mm.
know, but the competition is stiff. So that's my little thing on baseball. So what else is on your mind?
Well, what's else on my mind is um, the WNBA,
Mm-hmm.
and really what's on my mind. I was able to catch a game of LSU women.
Mm-hmm.
Man, you thought they were good last year.
Mm.
People are about to see a show.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm not exaggerating. Comparable to the '80s and the Lakers.
Wow.
These, I can't believe what I saw these girls, these women doing. I was
Mm-hmm.
like, I mean, they were cooking the opponent,
Mm.
and the opponent was just like, they were just in shell shock. I mean, I mean, I saw crossovers, hezzies in the air, around the cup, in. I
Yeah.
saw tough defense. I literally believe LSU women could beat some pro teams in the NBA, WNBA.
Hmm. Yeah.
I
All right.
mean, I saw moves I've never seen a female do. And these girls are like 6'2", 6'3", 6'5", 6'7".
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I'm like, she's a sophomore? That's why I think we're about to see something that's never been seen. If all things fall right, not only a back-to-back women's champion, but a possible three-peat.
Possible. Anything's possible.
It happened and was said here first on Smarterfan podcast.
Yeah.
I really believe that. I'm just looking at. I'm like, they're a team. They work together. They unified. They're willing to sacrifice. It is something to watch. I'm gonna tell you how bad it is for me.
Mm-hmm.
I have literally gone back and watched last year.
Wow.
It's that entertaining.
Oh, I can imagine.
It's amazing. It's simply amazing.
I would like to follow college sports, but it gets too damn confusing with the rankings and all of that stuff, you know.
Save yourself the headache. I never get into that. You know, when people ask me that all the time, I said I don't watch anything until the Final Four. And usually I wait till the actual four. Because I can't have time to follow all of that. I ain't that. No, let me see who are the four teams who are going to have a chance, and I'll watch. But countdown and all that stuff. No, thank you. Mm-mm.
Yeah,
I just like to see the competition and these young ladies cooking. I want to just drop this in. I don't think Caleb from USC, the quarterback, I don't think he's coming out.
Oh, really?
And somebody said to me, why? Yeah. He said, why you don't think that? I said, he'll actually make more money. He could, but it's going to take a lot for him to come out because he's already won the Heisman. I don't think the incentive, and I'm really happy about it, that because it now forces the NFL to stretch and go in their pocket, you know, to get these kids to come out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I that's the only reason, and one of the reasons I like the NIL situation, because it gives an opportunity to share more of the wealth and force the NFL. On the other side, also is treat their players that are in the NFL better, and not like disposable, napkins. You know what I mean, because you ain't no guarantee you're gonna get it. You gotta start producing a product.
That's for sure.
Really want. I'm looking at Cleveland. I say it again. I know people are like, "Oh, you always say that." I said, if they don't get to the playoffs, their coach is out of there. I'm telling you that right now. You can't have that many number ones and you 500. It just doesn't work. It just doesn't work.
Yeah, well, they've had a revolving door of coaches, so.
Well, that's ownership. That's front office. They're no better. It's the same thing with the Bears. Someone did some analytics. Close up. Did some analytics on all the coaches the Bears have had since Lovey left. None of them have done better. None of them.
Nope.
None of them have done. So it'd have been better for them to keep Lovey and keep building than to create this, turnover. But as I said, if some franchises who are committed to losing, they say they're committed to winning, but they're really not. They're really committed to losing, selling hope to fans, and cashing the checks. But not really committed. Like a friend of mine said, well, is that why what happened with Eli and the Chargers and Arch Manning? I said, yeah. Archie Manning knows the game and was not going to let his son burn out his career being a Charger. That franchise is not committed to winning.
He did the same thing with Peyton. He told Peyton, you better stay your ass in college. You're not going to the Jets.
Nope. And that's what happens. That's the other side of the equation that many people don't understand in college sports and pro sports. Like, they make all this noise about Coach Prime in the portal. Do you know how many coaches are happy that they have a portal? Because you may recruit a kid, right? And he may not be a fit for your program. You know what I mean? And that just happens. And so it's a way for a kid to say, well, you sold me something. It ain't really like that here. Right. Now that I'm here, and I'm sitting behind an All-American. I'm sitting behind a junior, and I probably won't play for 2 years. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I don't really want to sit that long. You know what I'm saying? And so that's another part that people don't understand about the game. So as we always do on Smarterfan podcast, we tell you the good, the bad, and the ugly, and everything going on behind the scenes to make our listeners smarter fans.
That's right.
What you got? Anything in closing?
I'm good. You said it all.
All right, my friend. See you next week.
All right.
Have a good one.
Peace.
Peace. Smarterfan. Ooh.